Well, hey guys, in this video today we are going to showcase to you something very peculiar that we saw in Pacific Rim Uprising. That is the different TOHO and Monsterverse titans that were confirmed as kaijus in that movie. And there were also other monsters from other movies as well, so let's find out which ones. They were all seen on a screen depicting the names and logos of the kaiju that were in the database of the Pan-Pacific Defense Corps. And although they might not have been canon and just Easter eggs, it's fun to think that these kaiju would have battled the Jaegers too. So let's see which kaijus are on that list. Number 1. Guyron. Guyron is an alien monster from the movie Gummera vs. Guyron that generally walks on all fours, but can stand up on two legs as well. With tough grey skin and a small mouth, sleepy looking eyes and a deep groaning roar, it is an unusual looking monster. However, the most unique characteristic is the massive sword on its head, which is nearly as long as its body. It kinda looks like knife head in a way. Number 2. Batra. This moth kaiju, who appeared in the 1992 film Godzilla vs. Mothra, Batra, like Mothra, has both larval and imago forms. Batra's imago form has a mostly black body and very huge wings with red, black and yellowish markings. He also has yellow horns on his head, 6 legs, red eyes, and that light purple when he fires his beam, and a red line running down the sides of his body. Number 3. Zygra. Zygra is an alien monster and the main antagonist in Gummera vs. Zygra, the 7th Gummera film. Zygra is a deadly opponent who looks like a cross between a goblin shark and a bird, possessing a silvery grey armored plated hide, a pointed nose, a row of sharp dorsal fin on its back, as well as sharp pectoral ones. This kaiju actually would look very much like a trespasser or a knife head. Number 4. Clover. Another monster seen in the screen is actually not from TOHO but an American monster from the Cloverfield movie. This is also a giant aquatic creature that is massive and one that we kinda hope in the future would fight against the Jaegers in kind of a crossover movie or something like that. Clover is a quadrupedal monster that creates chaos wherever he goes. Number 5. Jagger. If you can't believe it, even Jagger was seen in the list. This space kaiju, who was one of the arch enemies of Godzilla, would have been quite a problem against Jaegers. Jagger sports a circular saw weapon located in his abdominal region, large steel hooks for hands with smaller ones for toes, spikes running down his tail, 3 large fin-like sails on his back, and a red cybernetic visor for an eye. Number 6. Gummera. Essentially a giant superpowered ninja turtle, Gummera has its own franchise and was very surprising to be seen in that list. Imagine a giant turtle that can fly at supersonic speeds, shoot flames from its mouth, and with a shell that can withstand any weapon imaginable. I don't think that this kaiju could be defeated by any Jaegers. Well, maybe by a group of them, but not a single one. Number 7. Varen. This is a trifibian kaiju that first appeared in the 1958 TOHO film of the same name and later debuted in Godzilla franchise in the 1968 film Destroy All Monsters. In his debut film, Varen was a huge prehistoric reptile and is a primarily quadrupedal monster with thin membranes between his arms and legs, which he uses for gliding in a manner akin to that of a flying squirrel or a sugar glider or something like that. Number 8. Jagger. This is an ancient kaiju, an ancient demonic creature from the continent called Mu, who first appeared in the 1970 film Gummera vs. Jagger. Jagger is a horned quadrupedal reptile somewhat reminiscent of an extinct dinosaur Triceratops. She has multiple spikes on her face and a raised fin on her back. Her skin is light brown and covered in circular patterns. Number 9. Yangari. This is an ancient reptile kaiju created by Kyondong Entertainment, who first appeared in the 1967 tokusatsu film called Yangari of the same name, the monster from the deep. Yangari is a bipedal reptile with a long horn on his snout, tusks on the sides of his mouth, and a single row of dorsal plates, similar to Godzilla but shorter. He has red glowing eyes and spikes on his tail, like a stegosaurus. Number 10. Baragon. Baragon is a subterranean reptile kaiju who was first seen in the TOHO film Frankenstein vs. Baragon and later debuted in Godzilla Destroy All Monsters. It is a quadrupedal mammal-like reptilian creature with reddish-brown skin, a single large horn on his forehead, somewhat like knife head again, which is followed by several backwardly curved spikes on the back of his head and large floppy ears. Number 11. Gaias. This is another kaiju from the Gummera franchise, and it is a flying kaiju similar to Rodan. Imagine this, the Pan-Pacific Defense Co having to fight another flying kaiju like Otachi. That's gonna be something. This was the arch enemy of Gummera and was a very powerful creature. Gaias resembles a giant pterosaur or a bat-like creature with a flattened arrow-shaped head, leathery wings with 3 claws on each. And lastly, number 12. The Muto. And finally, a monster from the Monsterverse. The Muto was seen at the bottom of the list of the kaijus on the screen. Most of us know about this 6-legged parasitic kaiju with a power similar to that of Leatherback that can emit EMP that can kill any electronic equipment in a wide radius. Think about the Jaggers fighting both the female and the male Mutos. Hoo-wah! And maybe even the Muto Prime. That'll be the day. And so with that we come to the end of the video on the TOHO and Monsterverse Kaiju scene in Pacific Rim Uprising. Well, not as much scene as just depicted on a screen, but anyway, that's still quite an idea. To make a Spider-Man No Way Home kind of a scenario, but with monsters in a monster multiverse. So subscribe to be a part of the MindQ family and hit that like button, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care, fam.